We're going to begin this hour, though, with a segment of Prince Harry's 60 Minutes interview that you may not have heard before. The Duke of Sussex spoke with Anderson Cooper about his new memoir, Spare, last night on 60 Minutes, and he revealed that he's not speaking to his brother, Prince William, and he remembered how he learned that Princess Diana had died. In this clip from 60 Minutes Overtime, Harry says he understood his mother better after he became a father.
Having been through what you've been through now, do you understand your mom differently?
In what sense?
In a deeper way?
Of what she was going through?
I think one thing I've realized about grief and loss is that one's relationship with somebody who's died continues. And your understanding of them actually can change over time. Having been through what you went through with the family, with your wife, the press, do you understand your mother from a different angle?
Over the years, I have understood it more. But yes, certainly as a parent to two little kids, I'm starting to comprehend the position that she was in as a mother, single parent, trying to look after two boys with this intense media harassment. It wasn't online then, it was very much physical. She was being chased for the majority of her life when she got together with my father. It got so much worse after the divorce. So I've done and continue to do everything I can to make sure that that doesn't happen to my family, because it certainly doesn't seem as though the British press have changed their ways.
And she was literally chased. CBS News royal contributor, that's Tina Brown, joins us. She's in London this morning. Good morning to you, Tina. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. I know you watched Anderson's interview and certainly the ITV interview. Both ran last night. What stood out to you? And did you see a difference between the American interview and the interview in the UK?
Well, I think what obviously was deeply moving in both was to hear about the agony of this young child that lost his mother. You know, there's no doubt that I think what he said to Anderson about how he, pretended to himself or believed that his mother might come back, that she hadn't really died, was incredibly touching, because it's what a child does. They live with magical thinking. Their mummy's going to come back. So that I found enormously moving. But when he starts to move in both the interviews, and then when he moves into what's been happening in the last few years, then I start to feel that Harry's doing some gaslighting himself, frankly. Because the fact is that, here he is like selling out his family for money, essentially, when he's talked so often about the agony of being betrayed. He also, he was quite happy to have the palace spin on his behalf when it suited him. Because, as he describes, he was doing a tremendous amount of drugs. He was totally out of hand. He was really out of control. And yet the palace had to go out and sort of clean up after him and spin and kill stories and make things go away. They were always doing that for Harry. So he doesn't acknowledge that there's a two-way street here. And finally, when I was reporting my book, The Palace Papers, I talked to so many people who were so close to William and Harry. These two, one of them said to me, I've never seen two brothers that close. Now, their relationship definitely took a big downturn when Harry left the army, came into civilian life, and essentially had it rubbed into his face that things had changed. He was now very much the number two. His brother was on the path to be king. That was painful for him to behold, because there's only 2 years between them, and Diana had raised them the same. But that was when it began to really curdle, when he understood, finally felt, as opposed to knew notionally, that he was the number two. That made him very bitter. But he's definitely kind of rewriting history in the path of their relationship.
Is it selling out the family, Tina, if you've said, look, I've tried to talk to them privately about the harm that he believes has been caused, and then the story is leaked and it's negative about you? I'm fascinated by the belief that he's selling out his family when he says that he has tried privately to work behind the scenes and nothing ever changes.
Well, I know he says that, but he can never give any concrete examples. This is what's frustrating. I mean, let's hear some examples, Harry. I mean, it may well be in the book, which we have not yet read, so I don't want to say that and find that all those stories are there. But so far, he hasn't really been able to give us concrete examples of stories that he says are about him trying to make amends and them leaking it. I think if that's true, that's horrific and horrible and wrong. I'm not suggesting that the palace haven't done their own evil work in leaking and planting. I'm sure they have. They all do. But frankly, the last Netflix documentary that they did was a 6-part infomercial for themselves. It was all their version. He keeps saying that, his own story and he hasn't been told. It's been nothing but his story. We've actually not heard their story at all, and we still haven't.
Well, Tina, the coronation is May 6th. Do you think he will still be included in that?
I think they're going to ask him, because I think they're very careful at the moment to try to give Harry no further reasons to go on another grudge-and-walk, quite honestly, which is what he does. I mean, if they don't ask him, then that's another fuel for yet another infomercial about look how mean they are to me. So yeah, he'll be asked. Whether he'll play a big role, I don't know. But I think everyone would like to see this family reunited. It's a painful thing to see these petty fights in public.
I do think people really want to see them reconcile, however they can do that. Tina, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Safe travels. Don't forget to come back. Thank you.